two, three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, everybody, welcome to Teaching Crypto. This is AZ Crypto, Mr. FOMO. It's Sunday, but we don't rest here on the show as the crypto market hopefully continues to heat up as we get to midsummer. Mr. FOMO, I've still been communicating with a lot of Voyager customers, and yes, some people unfortunately are still waiting for all their stuff. But in speaking to people, I realized we need to do a show warning people about things not to do, because I've heard people talk about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, don't do that. So, Mr. FOMO, this is a really important show because you don't want to make a mistake that could cost you several $1,000s. And literally, and for some people, it's even more than that. And so we want to go through and we want to talk about that because remember, as these prices go up, whatever is left that they can give you, that amount, the value goes up. So I want to share some things with our customers, Mr. FOMO, because it's easy, you know, if you're in the space to keep up, but some people are not always keeping up. And so we wanted to share that with them so that really they could, you know, they could see exactly what not to do here. So Mr. FOMO, some things that people should not do. And the first thing, and this might be shocking, but I've heard several people say, I'm going to close my account, or I want to close my account. I've spoken to 4 people that said that. You don't want to do that because there's something coming in October that could give you a lot more value back. So, Mr. FOMO, why don't you remind our viewers, just in case they've forgotten, most of them know, but why do you want to have your account open, especially during this fall?
Well, this fall, we're going to get that Alameda FTX money back. There's $445 million sitting there. Optimistically, we should get about 90% back. I know that this is probably the only time that I've been optimistic, and I'll probably get burned for it. But optimistically, that means that we should get about 20% back.
Now,
so
that's assuming
whatever you got now, you might have, or whatever you're waiting on now, you might also get that again, or something similar to that again when we roll around to the fall. So be prepared to jump on this again, because I would assume that you will get another 30-day window, and then that will be it.
Now, that's assuming mediation goes well. If mediation doesn't go well, they do go to trial. So then you're looking at sometime next year. But it is a significant amount of money. There's also wind down money as well that could give you back a significant amount of coverage. Now, the 3AC, the third-party lawsuits, those I'm not very optimistic. But definitely for sure, there are 2 paths over the next 3 to 6 to 9 months. Who knows how long it's going to take to get recovery. One is regular wind down money, and 2 would be just the Alameda FTX. Now, this thing could drag on for another year and a half or 2 years. Who knows? But if you had a lot of crypto on the platform, don't just be happy. And we're going to try to push. We'll keep contacting the administration about this. Don't be happy with your 35 to 36% that you got. Hopefully you can even get more. Now, this one might be controversial, but Shingo Levine, who was originally part of Voyager, started a software called Ethos. And he promised people Ethos tokens if they gave them their Voyager information. In fact, he did the same thing with Celsius customers. And the idea was you were going to use this platform, and as part of your recovery, you were going to get these Ethos tokens. Now, last week, he had to come out and say these tokens don't have any value because of the fear they might be labeled securities. But here's the problem. Ethos is not cold storage. Okay? They claim to be, but it is a new type of technology. And I would be very wary of putting a high amount of crypto on there because it's brand new. Mr. FOMO, what are the dangers of trusting something brand new with your hard-earned assets?
You know, everybody's chasing these moonshots, these 1000Xs, but I really don't see this, especially not in this case. This is an opportunity to, you know, sort of take in money and hold on to it, maybe possibly trade it. I'm not crazy about, people trying to buy your, your creditor account from you. I feel like if he buys the rights to it from you now, don't you lose out on the rights to later?
No, not creditor. He's not buying your account. When you gave him the information, he promised the ethos tokens at a future date. But it came out now that those tokens are not going to have a dollar amount value. Basically, you can't sell them for profit. You can only use him on his in his technology and his app. He claims that it is just as secure as cold storage, yet to be seen. So he's not buying your claim, Mr. FOMO. He's basically,
so you can trade what you're getting back for his ethos tokens, which have no value and their only function is within.
Well, the point was he wants you to take your tokens that you just received and put them on his platform. Obviously, that helps.
Right, like it's an opportunity to hold.
But he's not accessing your claim or anything like that.
I just don't. When something has so little utility, I'm not into it at all. If it can only be used with his technology, that's a very specific use case. And I think he's absolutely right. Because of that specific use case, it has no value at all.
And Shingo might have the best intentions, but the reality is it's a very, very small group of people working with him. They recently tried to fundraise because there is a chance that they're already running thin on money. It's a lot of money to handle something like this. An app where you're trading crypto. In fact, you are charged gas fees on the app. So,
well, I mean, isn't the idea of creating a token for the most part just a cash grab, right? Like you're creating something that has no intrinsic value, and then people are paying in and giving you value for something that, I mean, you're not even like, at least in a regular monetary system, I've got something that's, paper or metal to hold on to. But, in this system, there's nothing that you're actually creating. There's no physical or, I know that's a dumb argument in crypto, but there's no utility even to this thing that you're doing.
Not yet. I mean,
so there's nothing for you to pay out. So everything to you is profit in this case. And so until your crypto has utility, I don't think that,
I'm going to assume the utility is these tokens. If people get them, we'll give them cheaper gas fees on his app. But again, I'm personally not financial advice, staying away. By the way, I forgot to mention at the top, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so, and the like button, especially the subscribe button. That greatly helps us out as we try to push to 700. So if you haven't done so, please. Sorry, Mr. Mustard. 5 transactions is a lot. We got family members waiting on a few, and prices have gone up and down. And so it's, if hopefully you get those as soon as possible. But so they did send out a letter saying they were going to process everything within the 30 days. Not within the 30 days, but if you got something in, it'll be processed even if the 30 days runs out. Okay, now this is scary. Some people's relatives have been contacted, Mr. FOMO. I haven't even talked to you about this. I had one person say that their mom was called. So there's been phone calls, there's been letters. At this point, it wouldn't shock me if people knocked on doors, because unfortunately this information was gotten. It seems like a lot of bad people got hands on these. And so
I feel like that's not a very tough scammer, though. Like if they're calling your mom to try and get your crypto, they're not very bright when it comes to crypto. Because if you call my mom, and she's an insanely intelligent woman, but if you called my mom and we're like, we can get his crypto for more, she wouldn't know how to help you. She wouldn't even know how to explain to me how to help.
So here's the deal. There is no extra distribution right now. So anyone claiming to be affiliated with Voyager, unless you're communicating with them within the app, that's not Voyager. Okay.
Yes.
So Twitter, Instagram.
If you get a hard letter in the mail, any phone call or mail is not Voyager. So be very, very careful. There have been some smart people that have fallen for crypto scams. So don't think they're too busy processing transactions by hand to deal with you.
Yeah. So just be careful. And I didn't put pay attention. because we're going to keep you guys updated. So if there is another distribution, come here. We'll tell you what the process is, because we don't exactly know. It's going to be USDC. Is it going to be cash? So keep it right here, because we'll give you all that. And that's why you want to make sure you are subscribed. So Mr. FOMO, we've talked a lot since it happened, but a different perspective in crypto is, when something happens, it has a domino effect. And one major crypto I think that's going to be affected from XRP is Solana. And the reason is, remember, Solana, it's almost been a month now, was what the SEC said they considered it a security in one of the cases. Well, now that XRP looks like they're in good shape, that really helps Solana. And there's been a lot of interest in Solana. And it was one of the biggest performers in the last bull run. And so we haven't talked a ton about Solana on the show, but I think it's time we start paying more attention to it.
I would agree. And we've talked a little bit about building a crypto portfolio, and, before the intelligent people or intelligent money were putting 50% of their portfolio, or a large percentage of their portfolio, just in Bitcoin for stability. And we've talked about maybe now the market has evolved in a way, and maybe now some of these blue chips are big enough that you can put them into your portfolio in that stability portion where it used to be just Bitcoin, or maybe just Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this is one of those ones that could possibly fit into that piece of the pie, right? So this is one that I've always loved. I made a little bit of money off of this one in the last bull run when it went on its streak. And so there's a special place in my heart for Solana. But you see the chart there. I think that's just over the last day. We can get that a little bit, over the last year, we've been a little bit uglier. And then all time, you can see, I can never hit that. You can see up at 248. And so we've got quite a ways to go before we even get back to all-time highs. So, we're about 90% off the all-time high with a bull run right down the road. So looking pretty nice. And this is, again, one of those ones that I would consider a blue chip and to put in the stability side of my portfolio. And it still has that much room to run. So that shows you how much your portfolio could move when we get to the bull run.
Yeah. So, the thing is, remember, on altcoins, people are constantly taking profits. However, some alts have so much volume that they can absorb that profit taking and continue to go up consistently. And last time, Solana was one of those. Now, the market cap, though, is higher than it was at the beginning of the last bull run, much higher. So that's something to also take into consideration. Remember, it's not the dollar amount of the token. You want to look at the supply. You want to look at the daily volume and the market cap. And then even you want to look at how many holders have what. So why don't you go over that with our viewers?
Yeah, this is something that I always like to look at. And in recent videos, we've seen things like, Jasmine, and, we've talked about what else? We were talking before the show about, Engine. And they've got like 70 to 80% of their supply is held by the top 100 holders. But when you see something like this is a little bit more healthy. The top 100 only control about 30% of the supply. And so when you get those pumps, you're not going to see as much sell pressure. This is still probably quite a bit larger than you would see in the regular market. But comparatively to some of these altcoins that are further down in the top 100 or the top 200, this one is going to provide you a little bit more stability, and it's not going to fall back as quickly as it's pumping. As the market, maybe takes a breather and things move sideways. This one isn't going to drop on you like some of those altcoins that are further down the list.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the thing is, you always want to make sure that you have a plan, right? So if you buy Solana today and it dips a little bit, you're going to have to be ready to DCA. Okay. So fun fact, 3.8 Bitcoin puts you in the top 100% of holders. 6.7 Bitcoin puts you in the top 0.5. Yeah. I mean, as much as people talk about Bitcoin, there isn't a ton of the U.S. population that has full BTCs yet. And it's going to be harder, I think, coming up. Remember, guys, I know
So that's
Bitcoin,
all it takes to be a whale, right?
I know Bitcoin right now seems boring, but it will not be boring on the day that it shoots up to 35K. And that's what I'm expecting. And I think really it could come down to, I mean, I know people are saying the fall, but it could be this week. It really could. The SEC has formally accepted BlackRock's application for the ETF. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be approved, but it is interesting to me that we didn't talk about this, Mr. FOMO. That kind of snuck into the news this morning, the news feed, that the SEC formally accepted the application. That kind of grabbed my attention. You know, we've heard of Friday news dumps, Sunday morning news dumps. Sometime are even more obscure because a lot of people didn't see that, and you'll see that stuff like that on this show that you won't on others. And that, you know, just remember that. Just remember that. So if you're on the sidelines not wanting to buy Bitcoin, saying, well, I'm going to wait, I'll tell you what, a lot better buying under 31K than it is buying under 40. And I really do believe, guys, and my reputation, I'm kind of sticking to this. We're going to see 40K before the end of the year. I actually going to think we're going to go higher. I'm not ready to say 50K, but I think you will see a 40K. Now, whether it holds 40 or retraces back to 35, but I think 30K for sure is coming this year.
And just based on that price action, right? Or just based strictly on price action, you might get a little bit of, buy the rumor, sell the news. You've got Sunday, the news comes out that they formally accepted the application. Whether or not they approve it is irrelevant to the price action, right? Now that this news hits, you may have people buying. And then when that news hits, whether or not they approve it, you might have a little bit of a sell-off just based, that's just how the crypto market price action works. So if you wanted to play that action, this may be a good time just to dip your toe in anyway.
I agree. I definitely agree. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think the reality is you just want to be prepared. You want to be educated. Stay on this channel. Thank you, those of you that have subscribed. We'd love to have you if you haven't, because we're going to keep this content rolling all throughout. And we are just at the very infancy of the bull run. That's the beauty. This is just like when you've gone to the hospital and brought your kid home from the hospital. And we're going to, and by the time the end of the bull run, your kid's going to be talking. So we got a long ways to go, guys. So keep
before we go, we got to talk. We've got a merch store now.
Yeah.
So we've got all kinds of stuff in there. If you want to get in there, we've got the link below. We've got the Arrest Steve sticker.
Oh, yeah.
We've got, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll share a view of the store here. We've got Arrest Steve stickers. We've got Arrest Steve shirts.
Hey.
And here it comes. So you've got Steve there with the little Voyager V. We've got the handcuffs. We've got more coming. So we also created some stuff for FTX, and you've got the Scam Bankman fraud line of merchandise there. There's a lot of stuff already going on our merchandise store. So
if you are interested, please
check that out.
Please take a look.
And then we've also partnered with a couple of other channels. We've got Mozart, who does stocks and bonds and regular market stuff. So if you're going to check out his channel, go to our featured channels. I was just talking to him today and talked to him about XRP and gave him a tip to tell his viewers. So we partnered up with him, and you can go and check him out. He's actually been hitting it on the nose the last couple of weeks. So if you want to get into the stocks, go ahead and check out his channel. He's doing that. We also partnered with an artist here in New York, and he makes T-shirts, other art, stuff like that. His name is Renda Ryder, and I'm wearing his Grateful for Hip Hop shirt right here, because I am grateful for hip hop. I love this shirt. I love some of the stuff he's doing. So if you get a chance, check out his channel too. Is another small channel that's just getting started. He's already been selling stuff. He's a huge artist here in this city. So just check him out. Those are our partners.
Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it. And once again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. For Mr. From with the Zazy Crypto, you guys have a wonderful Sunday afternoon.
See ya.